What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 30 here on the 52 Horrific Weeks in 1988. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again, guys, for dropping in. Alrighty, yeah, week 30. Holy fucking shit. Week 30. Man, doing these series, man, it's just making the years go by way too fast, I think. But anyways, the remaining films went into that randomizer, hit that random button, and we've got Hide and Go Shriek. This, I believe, is the only official release in the world, actually, I think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but this is an Australian release, actually. I'm not sure why this movie hasn't been released more times, but I don't know. But anyways, Hide and Go Shriek, of course, from 1988. Get into the plot of this one. It basically centers around, you got about 8 main characters here. They have just finished high school, and they're very proud of it. So basically they decide that they're going to throw a party inside this department store. One of the graduates, a young boy, well, obviously a graduate, his father owns the department store, so of course he has the keys to get in. And yeah, that's where they set up shop, and they decide that they're going to drink some beers and have some gratuitous sex, and you know, just partied up in the department store. But little did they know that there's actually someone obviously in there, and is picking them off one by one. Yeah, so that is your very generic storyline to the slasher film. Now my thoughts on this one. Like I said, it's a very, very generic storyline, and there's actually things in this movie that don't really make sense. There's an opening scene in the movie which I don't even understand why it's there. It doesn't have anything to do with anything, really. I think they probably could have just left that out of the film, just started with introducing the characters, get right into the story, and then, you know, have the end the way the end was. Now, this first scene in the film is basically this dude that kills this hooker off. Now, that will make a lot more sense once you've watched this film, and by the time you get to the end, but of course it won't make sense. This movie, it's very odd. It's very odd. It's all shot in a department store, which I really do like. I do have a little bit of issues with the setting, though. Or not so much the setting, it's more of how they did it. This one right here, of course, is set in the department store, but it's set in with no lights on. So the whole movie is very dark. I think basically they might have said, one of the characters might have said they can't turn on the lights because it just would be a dead giveaway that they're actually in there. It does make sense, but it makes the movie really dark. It's clear, the transfer is really clear, but it's just a really dark film. And it doesn't really add a lot to the atmosphere, actually. It doesn't really make it overly that creepy and stuff. Because basically what they're doing, they're just goofing off in this place, and they're just playing hide and go seek is what they're doing, and stuff. So I guess the dark atmosphere kind of works for it a little bit, but it is really dark. You don't get to see a whole lot and stuff. The kills in the film are pretty tame. They're kind of creative, but they don't really show a lot, which is kind of disappointing. There's one really good decapitation in this film that's actually done pretty well. But yeah, overall the body count is very, very low. For the amount of characters, main characters that are involved in this film, the body count's really low. I don't really want to say too much, but the owner has actually hired on an ex-convict, of course, that becomes that character that you think is obviously the killer in the film, but you know, of course, he's never is, right? So he's this warehouse guy and whatnot. He's an ex-criminal. He looks all badass and shit like that. And of course, after a few killings happen, he shows up, and of course, you know, things kind of go down from there. Now, the end of the film is really bizarre. Now, I gotta say, the killer is kind of unique. You don't really see a lot of killers like this. But once the ending is revealed, the beginning of the movie doesn't make any fucking sense. You kind of flip it back to that, and you go, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. I really wish I could just give it away, because I really like to rant about it, but I'm not going to. If you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I loosely recommend this movie. I don't think it's that great at all. I think the kills are kind of lackluster. The body count's a little low. You know, the characters are very cliched. There's actually one character in this film that supposedly is graduating. He totally looks like he's 15 years old. I think the casting's a little off too. But all the characters are very kind of just your run-of-the-mill type slasher characters. None of them are really over the top. There's one character that's, you know, the funny guy and stuff, but, you know, the characters are very kind of cliched, so, you know, this one right here is very average. If I had to rate this film, I'd probably give it... I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. You know, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because I really do like the setting. I like the department store setting. I think the killer is kind of unique, but it doesn't really fully work because of what they did in the beginning of the film. And a little bit of points for the decapitation. It's kind of cool and stuff, but otherwise, very run-of-the-mill type slasher film. Yeah, I don't know. But pick this one up at your own risk. I loosely recommend it, and that's pretty much all I can say. There's not really a whole lot to say about this one without giving anything away. So, Hide and Go Shriek from 1988, of course. I actually think that this release is out of print, though. I think this is out of print. I'm not 100% sure, but... Anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Short review, Hide and Go Shriek. Check it out at your own risk, like I said. I will see you guys back next week in week 31. Yeah, of course, I don't know what the film's going to be. Getting down, though, you know, we're getting down to some pretty... There's a lot of good films left to be reviewed, so... Yeah, we'll see what's up next. Anyways, guys, I'll check you next week. Peace out.